Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today, we're going to go ahead and do another trade recap video, recapping 3 more trades that I've taken so far this week. Now, 2 of these trades are winners on both Target and MU, Micron, and then the one loser is on Nvidia. Got caught in a very nasty Nvidia rejection candle, and I want to go ahead and share that with you guys so far this week. We'll also go ahead and touch on the overall market as well, take a look at the futures, and sort of show you guys this range that this market has been trading in this week. Very choppy price action this week, been keeping it very, very small during this week with this volatility that has been sort of difficult to read and a lot of sideways price action over the last few days. So we'll go ahead and do sort of a recap, some technical analysis on the overall market as well. So hope you guys enjoy this one. Press that like button if you do. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And press the bell down below so that you guys come and hang out in the live streams every single morning starting at 8 a.m. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and start here first by looking at the overall market. Let's look at the NASDAQ, the ES. Let's get an idea of what this overall market has been doing for the last week. It's been a really sideways, very choppy, really not much there to trade, but I think we're setting up for a nice move, and I'll tell you why. I know it's been very choppy. It's hard to know for sure if this is setting up, but there are some technical levels. There's some retest levels that I'm eyeing. Why I think the market is just sort of consolidating for a bigger move. Could be wrong, of course, but I'll show you guys my thesis behind why I think this market could hold up at this very important retest zone. So here on the daily chart, you guys are looking at the NASDAQ. This is the NASDAQ on the daily, and this is something that we've been watching, right? We've been watching this 16.4 level on the NASDAQ market. And why am I watching that level? Because this is a previous all-time, or I wouldn't say all-time high, because we do have this all-time high up here around 16,760, but we definitely had a lot of resistance and a lot of previous highs up here around 16.4. Now, after pushing through that level early this week, you guys can see here on Monday, we pushed through, and over the last 3 days, we've sort of consolidated to the downside. The one thing that I am keeping an eye out for is what happens when we retest this 16.4. Now, if we go into the shorter term time frames, we go into the hourly chart, we are going to see how we did, in fact, retest that level yesterday. We retested that level yesterday on Wednesday. We pulled back in the morning, retested that level right here, and we actually had a very nice support hold right here at these previous resistance points, right? So resistance, resistance, and resistance. And when we pulled back to that yesterday on Wednesday, we held it very nicely. Now today, I will say, I was looking for that push higher today. We didn't quite get it. I figured market might try to push off that 16.4 after retesting that level and try to become bullish here into end of week. So if we jump into the 5-minute chart and just look at today's price action, you guys can see we did sort of start off quite bullish. We started to get that move off this 16.4. This is that 16.4 support down here, this green zone on your screen. You'll see we started to get that push intraday, but we just went ahead and failed once again. So it looks like this market is having a little bit of a range again. It looks like it's range bound for this week, and we can see end of day today, which is just about 5 minutes ago. I'm recording this video at 4:05 p.m. Eastern. Just about 5 minutes ago, we went ahead and we sold off into end of day. Not too concerned about that sell-off in today. I think it's just sort of, us getting stuck up here and maybe sellers starting to, stack up, maybe profit taking. Still above that 16.4. Support is still below, and that range is still very much alive. So as of right now, guys, I am watching this range on the NASDAQ market. You can see right here, if we go to the hourly chart, we can see this range that now has formed right here in the hourly NASDAQ, up around 16,560 at the upside and around 16.4 to the downside. So right here, this is our main watch, right? Which way does this market go out of this range? And for me, I really don't want to get aggressive until I know which way this market goes. If I start to see the breakdown, then maybe I'll look for downside. If I start to see this thing break 16.4, maybe I'll look aggressively to the upside. But if we're trading in this range, I'm not going to go big. I'm not going to try to lose my money by getting too aggressive in a choppy sideways market. It is just not the time to do it. So pretty choppy here in the NASDAQ, and it's the same story for the ES, right? So looking at the ES over the last few days, we have a very well-defined channel here, 4770 and 4795. Around 4800, we have not been able to break above. So ES, NASDAQ, range bound for now, guys. And until I see a move out of this range, I just don't think it's smart to get aggressive here. I think it's smart to save your capital, save your gunpowder, wait for that move to happen, wait for that next leg to happen. Is it up? Is it down? I can't really read the future, right? Not something I can do. But If I start to see this clearly break the support, then maybe we look for that downside move to around 47.20. Or if we get that upside move, maybe we look for a breakout of 4800. But right now, just reporting to you guys, market sideways, market's range bound. Be careful of your positions. A lot of volatility, intraday swings. Keep it small. No need to go, hit home runs in this market right now when we're sideways for the last 4 days. Wait for that move to happen. Capitalize on when a real move happens in the overall market. Now, I will say, regardless of this overall chop today, there was some very big moves on the overall market today. We saw a lot of those comeback names be very strong today. Stocks like Disney, stocks like Roku, PayPal, stocks like the Chinese names like NEO and XPEP were very strong today. So there are some stock-specific moves out there, but I don't like to trade unless I see an overall market move to one direction, and that's why I've kept it small. So with that said, guys, let's go ahead and jump into my trades. We're first going to look at Nvidia, which is the losing trade. We're going to look at Target, and we're going to look at MU. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and start with Nvidia. Nvidia was a $100 loser. It was a nasty rejection candle that I went ahead and got stuck in. So on your screen, you're going to be looking at my trade. This was a 1231 Nvidia 305 call, and I got a stop below 302. And I got a very, very nasty rejection candle. So what you're going to be looking at here, I went ahead and got in at 940. 940 was my entry. And I'll show you guys sort of why I got into this Nvidia call at 940. So we pushed higher on Nvidia and we started to pull back. Now, what I was looking at was a 302 support from pre-market. So right here at this level, around 302, we were looking at support in this area. So I saw Nvidia pushed higher, pulled back, and I was looking to see if we would start to hold this 302 level. What I started to see, if I pull up the Discord, the chart at the time, this is what the chart looked like at the time, right? So, of course, this is, in hindsight, this is live as I'm taking this trade. You guys can see I was looking at this 302 level, and I started to see us stack up here at 302, and we actually got a very nice push higher. What this candle is right here, I'll show you the rejection candle. This candle, the candle that I went ahead and got in on, which was at 940, was a big push to the upside. So at one time, this 940 candle was really nicely green up here to around 303.72. And I started to get in on that move because I started to see the 302 hold. We started to push higher. You guys can see this very large wick on this 940 candle. We were at one time a full-bodied green candle up here, up into a 303, 304. I got in on that push. It was engulfing this price action at the time. It was engulfing this previous price action. We got that push higher, and I went ahead and I jumped in because I figured Nvidia was holding this 302, pre-market support, pushing higher on this 940 candle. Remember, at one time, this was a full-bodied green candle up to around 303.76. That looks very bullish to me as we start to break above the 9 EMA, start to break above the VWAP. Now, what you can clearly see is what this candle closed at. The close of this candle was all the way down here at 301.78. A nasty, nasty rejection candle that happened within about 10 seconds. So just really got caught in this one, guys. There's really nothing else to say. Sometime that's going to happen in the market. Got caught in this nasty rejection candle, had my stop here under 302, and I went ahead and I got out almost as quick as I got in. Got out at 942. Right here, as I started to see this thing just crack 302, got out, took a $100 loss. It was a very nasty rejection candle. Got caught in it, and sometimes that's just the name of the game. So at one time, I wish I could go back and show you what this candle looked like. It was a really nice candle, very bullish, 302 support, pushed through 9 EMA, pushed through VWAP, got in on it, and it just dumped on me. So good risk management. Happy I went ahead and had that stop in mind before I got into the trade, because if we look at what happened after that, it was just an absolute downside fest here on Nvidia. The other thing I will say that caused me to get into this trade is if we go to the NASDAQ market and we look at what it was doing at that time, I'll go ahead and zoom in here to 940. And what you guys are going to see, this is the NASDAQ on the same day. And at 940, it was this candle right here on the NASDAQ. So you guys could imagine if I start to see this NASDAQ break higher at 940, pushing into high of day, and I see that Nvidia reaction to the upside through 9 EMA and VWAP, that's going to cause me to think that there's a bullish move incoming, right? Because we just pulled back, had a little bit of a flag on the NASDAQ, broke out of it, pushed above 9 EMA, pushed higher, almost to high a day on the NASDAQ, right at 940, and you can see that rejection. that came in within 2 minutes, and that is the exact same thing that I got caught in here on Nvidia. So just like that, guys, this is the beast of the market. This is the nastiness of the market that you have to prepare yourself for. It's not all butterflies and roses. Sometimes you're going to get stuck in these nasty candles, and how you react to that is the key to surviving in the market. Do you take your loss here, or do you hope and pray for it to come back? If you hoped and pray for it to come back, this was a total loss, the amount that you put into the contract. If you had that stop in place while you were getting into the trade, and it's something you did not want to see the stock below, that saves you, that protects you from just a nasty, nasty move on the market. So that's Nvidia. That's my loser of the week. Now let's go ahead and jump into how I recovered from that loss. All right, guys, so here's MU on the 30-minute chart. Now, the first thing I was watching while trading MU was this 95 area. This 95 area that has acted as some very, very nice resistance in the past. And I saw that we broke above it on Wednesday. So we broke that 95, and we actually pulled back and held it as support. So that 95 was a key level. If I go ahead and go into the 1-minute chart on MU on the day that I traded it, here is what it looked like on the 1-minute chart. Now, what you guys are going to notice is we pushed through the 95, we pulled back, and this is the green level right here at 95. That is that previous resistance. We turned that resistance into support intraday yesterday on MU. So very nice. I liked when I saw that. Now, I didn't trade it just there, but I was waiting to see what it would do at high of day. So we started to curl back higher, bounced off 95. Why is that 95 important? I'll go back once again. You guys can see right here, this 95 level right in this area was previous resistance for 3 days. And when we go into yesterday, look at what it did right off that 95. A beautiful little break and retest right at 95. When I saw that retest hold, that made me bullish on MU. It was outperforming. We were holding that 95. When I saw that, I wanted to see if there could be any more upside on this trade. So when I saw us break above this high of day, which was right around this level at 96, that is when I went ahead and jumped into this trade. So here on your charts, or here on your screen, you're going to be seeing the trade that I took. I took an MU 1231 95 call at 170. So I went ahead and I took that trade as we were pushing above that 95, that high of day, that 95.60 level. Went ahead and jumped into it, looking for that continuation because I knew MU just previously held that 95 support, that previous resistance, turning it into support. And I wanted to see if there was any upside on this move. So on this particular trade, I took 3 contracts and I took 2 off at 11.46, took 2 off at 2.10, and then had the last one just break even. I had to leave the house. So I took my 2 off and then went ahead and left the last one to stop out break even. So I went ahead and took the 2 off at 11.46, which was right around here, 11.46. As this move started to slow down, the overall market started to slow down. And I just got a pretty decent move over the last, just about a 46-minute trade. So it did sort of take some time, about a 46-minute trade. But what you guys see is that MU, the reason I held it for so long is I got in here for this push through high a day. We retested the previous highs, held it as support. Again, another nice break and retest. And I went ahead and I started to scale out here. Again, not a big winner, not huge size, not making tons of money, but the overall setup is what I want to focus on. The reason I got into this, one was because of the hold at 95, which was previous resistance, looking for the breakout of high of day, looking for it to hold the previous highs as support, which it did very, very nicely right here, right? Previous highs of day, nice support, and I went ahead and I scaled out as we pushed higher. Now, of course, MU did push a little bit higher in the middle of the day, didn't go ahead and hold most of my size, had my last contract, and right here, as we started the breakdown, it did get stopped out for break even. So not a big win, not a huge trade, but a good setup. A nice break and retest at 95 and a nice retest hold up here around 96. Good little trade, nice little momentum on MU. Nothing that's groundbreaking, but just wanted to share that trade with you. The next trade, which I really liked, and this was today, this was on target. I really liked this trade, and I'll show you guys why I was watching this trade. So first of all, let's go to the daily chart. The daily chart on target, I absolutely love what the daily chart is doing right now on target. So if we go to, let's go ahead and set this up with our SMAs. If we look at the daily chart on target, what we're going to be looking at is the sell-off that we've seen on this move. So we've had a very big sell-off, and we started to see us recover over this 225, 226. Now, another thing that hasn't been important for Target is retailers have been very strong. Stocks like Costco, stocks like Home Depot, they've had very nice moves, and these retailers have been getting some love in the recent market. So we've seen a nice move here on Target, and today it actually set up for a very nice trade. So if I pull up the Discord, I'm going to show you guys what I was looking at pre-market in the technical analysis. Here it is in the morning, looking at this technical analysis. If Target can break yesterday's highs, I think this could move off momentum again. Target was very strong yesterday, and I was looking for that high of day breakout. So I was looking for that high day breakout on Target pre-market. So if we go into the 5-minute chart, or let's go to the 1-minute chart, what we're going to be looking at is yesterday's price action into today. This is yesterday right here, and this is today. So what I was aiming for was a break above yesterday's highs. And what you guys are going to notice is right around market open, we pushed higher and we broke above yesterday's highs. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the 9 EMA so we can go ahead and set up what I was looking for at the time. Now, if I zoom into this target chart, I'm going to show you exactly what I loved about this setup, exactly why I went ahead and took this bullish. So you guys can see I did not catch the original break. I don't usually trade within the first 5 minutes, but we went ahead and we got that push higher. Now, what did we get over the next about 10 to 15 minutes? We got some very nice consolidation holding the 9 EMA, and these two candles right here, guys, these two candles right here is the reason I got into this trade. These two wick candles to the upside that held above the 9 and had some very nice buying pressure above those wicks. So right around that time, you guys can see this is what the chart looked like at the time. Right when I saw that start to hold, started to see that 9 EMA hold, started to see those wicks push to the upside, I went ahead and I got into some Target 1231, 230 calls at 185. I took 5 contracts this time. So a nice little size position, looking for that push higher, and we definitely got that move. So right here, nice little 2 wicks, 9 EMA hold. Market looked pretty strong. Dow was strong, and I really liked to see if Target could go ahead and push, break these previous highs, hold that 9 EMA, and start to push to the upside. So we got that move, took 2 off, started to scale out of this. I think it's very important to scale out of these trades. Took 2 off at 948, which is right after we got that move. Right up here, took 2 off. Took 1 more off at 957, which was actually a nice little push into this 231.80 level. And then I went ahead and I let 2 run. Now, what I want to talk about is why I took 1 more off at 957, right? It seems like it looked really good, and I'm going to show you exactly why I took 1 off there. And that comes into play on the daily chart. If I go to the daily chart and I go and get the 20 SMA on the daily chart, that is right here, I'm going to pull up the 20 SMA. I was watching the 20 SMA on the daily chart as a potential resistance point. So the 20 SMA at the time, I believe I put it in the chat, but I'm not going to go all the way back to show where that 20 SMA is at the time was. But you guys can see right around this 231.80 area is where that 20 SMA was trading on the daily chart. Now, if we go to the 1-minute chart, what you're going to notice, that first resistance started to come in right there at that 231.80 area. And so when I knew that the market, or when I knew Target was pushing into that 20 SMA, that was a little bit of a indicator for me to say, hey, this is pushing into 20 SMA in the daily. I expect there to be some resistance at this level. Let me go ahead and take 1 off right here at 957, which is right when we pushed into that 20 SMA on the daily chart. So took 1 off, had 2 left, took 1 more off at 10:02, and then I was totally out of Target at around 10:31. So a nice little profit. I think I made about $160 on that trade. Nothing major. Nothing like groundbreaking. Nice little trade. Good technical setup right here off this little 9 EMA, little double candle wick right here. 9 EMA hold. Took it for that high of day break and went ahead and just scaled out of this position as we pushed higher. What I will say is this is one trade that I wish I could have held a little bit longer. I wish I was maybe a little bit more patient, because what you guys are going to see is we had a beautiful little flag, pulled back to VWAP, and then pushed extremely nicely into the later half of the day. This trade ended up going up about 100%. So I would have made about, if I held all 5, would have made about 900 bucks. But, you know, guys, it's just not worth making, angering yourself about what could have happened. I could have traded this, could have held this, but at the same time, I would have been red on this position if I would have held through this consolidation. So I don't think I did anything wrong by taking that move, taking that 9 EMA. You guys can see a nice little retest hold right here around 231, and I went ahead and just scaled out as we started to lose some steam. Of course, looking back, I wish I would have held this up into high a day. Was up about 100% at the time. I know some of you guys in the chat definitely did hold this longer than me, but I'm looking for those quick trades still. I'm looking to save money. I'm looking to make sure I don't give my money back to this market in this volatile and choppy market environment. I just don't see the reward versus the risk. I don't see the risk to reward to take huge positions, to hold these positions, to just wish and hope that things go higher. It's just not really what I want to do right now. I want to make sure I end this year very strong, end this year, protecting my capital, end this year not exposing my portfolio to large risk here. And I think I've done a good job at that so far. So those are my 3 trades in the last 2 days. One on Target, one on MU, and the loser on Nvidia. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this trade recap video. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed that video, just recapping a few of the trades that I've taken so far this week, not putting huge risk on my portfolio into end of year. Market's been choppy, market's been volatile, looking to end the year strong, looking to get some nice wins under my belt, not focusing on the dollar amount, focusing on the setups, focusing on the risk to reward, focusing on the percentage point gains, making sure that I don't get myself, into a situation where I'm trying to chase large profits in a volatile market that really is not favoring that type of behavior. So keeping myself as disciplined as possible. Of course, I wish I was making thousands and tens of thousands of dollars per day, but right now I just don't see the setups on an intraday basis, and I do not want to get myself stuck in that type of behavior. So hope you guys enjoy this video. Hopefully you enjoy some of the psychology behind my trading, some of the technical analysis. If you do, press that like button, subscribe to the channel for some more videos, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.